Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about suffixes. Let's start with the question, what is a suffix? A suffix is a group of letters added to the end of a word to change its meaning. We're going to start with an example. This is the word color, using the Canadian spelling, of course. You might have seen the American spelling without the U. The word color is a root. It's a root word. It carries most of its meaning all by itself, but you can change that meaning slightly if you add a suffix to the end, or as we talked about last time, a prefix at the beginning. In this case, we're going to add a suffix. The suffix I'm adding is less. When I add the suffix less, now the word says colorless. Colorless has a different meaning than the word color all on its own. Color is the root. It has most of the meaning, and less changes that meaning slightly. This suffix means without. So when you use it in conjunction with a root word, you have changed the meaning to without color. Colorless means without color. We're going to look at a few common suffixes, although these are by no means all of the suffixes that exist in the English language. Let's see. The first suffix we are going to look at is full. Don't be confused with the word full, which is a word all on its own. In this case, full is a suffix. That means it must be attached to a root word before it can mean anything. We need to add a root word at the beginning to this suffix in order to understand how it works. The suffix full means full of. So let's try attaching it to an example. My root word is cheer. And if I add the suffix full, it changes the meaning slightly. Cheer, or happy, joy, which are also synonyms, and now with full on the end means full of cheer. Very similar, but the suffix changes the meaning just slightly. Cheerful means full of cheer. And of course, sometimes when you have suffixes or prefixes in words, you read the meaning backwards. Cheerful means full of cheer. Let's look at another common suffix. This is one you might have seen very often. This is the ed suffix. Sometimes it's pronounced ed, sometimes it is pronounced id, and sometimes it is pronounced t, depending on the word. English is one tricky language. Whenever you see the ed suffix on the end of a word, that's why the dash is here to show you it's at the end. Ed suffix means has already happened. What's interesting is the word happened has an ed suffix inside of it. And what that means is, without that, you still have your root word that carries most of the meaning, happen, for something to take place, and then by adding a suffix on the end, it means it's already happened, or it's in the past. Some of you might have heard the term past tense. So something has already happened in the past. Now let's look at another example. That was just purely coincidental. The example will be cooked. The root word is cook. That carries most of the meaning. And when you add the ed suffix on the end, it changes the meaning just slightly. It means it's already happened. The cooking has already happened. So perhaps last night you cooked or a month ago you cooked. Either way, you did it in the past and the cooking has already happened. Without that ed suffix, it means it's happening now or at an unspecified time. The next suffix we will look at is less. And you will also remember that less by itself is actually a word. So in math, sometimes you use the word less to compare two quantities, if something is less or more, but that's when it's a word all on its own. In this case, we're going to use it as a suffix where we attach it to a root word. The suffix less means without. Let's attach it to a root. My root word is hope, which carries most of the meaning. And if we attach the suffix less, hi Betty. Hello Betty. We've got a special guest joining us. How are you? Okay, just a minute. Can you sit down? Come here, sit. Bless you. Excuse the dog noises. Sit down, please. Sit. Thank you. Now we had the root word hope, and now that we've added the suffix less, the meaning has changed slightly. Without hope. Hopeless means without hope. The next common suffix we will look at is ly. Ly says ly. The suffix ly means how you do something. Be careful though, because you might be thinking about words that end in ly, such as fly, but ly is not a suffix in this case, because if you get rid of it, there's no root word. Does not have any meaning to it. Ly is not always a suffix, and that's the case with many of these examples. It's only a suffix if it's attached to a root word and changes the meaning. You can test it by getting rid of it. Does what you have left mean anything? No. So in this case, the ly would not be a suffix. Here's an example where ly is a suffix. My root word is safe. And now I attach the ly on the end. Safely. Now it tells me how to do something. I do it safely. I changed the meaning slightly. How should I walk down the hallway? Safely. The last suffix that we will look at today is able. Although sometimes you will see able, which has the same meaning. Able and able mean can be done. Well, let's look at an example where this would not be a suffix. This is the word table. Do you think able is a suffix in this word? Yes or no? If you said no, you're correct. That's because if we get rid of it, there's no root word that's left over. Doesn't mean anything. So in this case, able is not a suffix. To make it a suffix, you have to attach it to a root word, which carries meaning. Let's look at an example. This is the word reversible. Able and able have the same meaning, although you can't use them interchangeably. You have to be attentive to which words end in able and which words end in able, spelling-wise. In this case, reverse, as we know, means to go back, and by having able means it can be done. So reversible means you can reverse. The car is reversible. You can put it in reverse. Or maybe you might say your shirt is reversible. It can be reversed. inside out. It can be done. It can be reversed. Let's quickly review the suffixes that we talked about today. First, we learned about the suffix full, which means full of. Then we talked about the ed suffix, which means that something has already happened. Less means without. Li means how something is done. And able or ible means it can be done. When you see these suffixes, now hopefully you'll understand the meaning of words a little bit better. We'll see you next time.